It was a normal day in Ponyville. Ponies in town had been talking about an upcoming concert as a charity to help to raise money for the local hospital who was needed of a new department for the children. But since the hospital was lack of the finance to even to build that, they had tried to talk to Mayor to ask her if it was possible to somehow to get the money to build a new department. But she told the doctors they didn't have to fund the budget themselves to help to build a new department. But then Mayor came up with an idea. What if they could have some sort of talent show where ponies could perform and somehow ponies could donate so the money so that they could raise up enough to help to build a new department of the hospital. The doctors was told about the idea and they actually agreed. Since in the past, only about a year earlier, when they had at Sweet Apple Acres, when they had invited Kolchora to perform a charity, and it worked perfectly. And they had back then raised enough money to help. So they thought maybe they can do something this time. But since they had thought about if they have a use a talent show this time, so help that local ponies could do some performance and others could donate some of the money. And of course, when this idea came out to the public after Mayor's announcement, ponies loved the idea. But there was only one problem. Where the hell this talent show? But Mayor had asked Apple family if it was possible to have this talent show on their ground. And the family actually agreed. They actually allowed it to happen. So, with the next 3 days, ponies from town was helping to build a stage and the benches where ponies would sit and allow to sing to perform and watch this performance. And of course, a lot of their friends had actually started talking about what kind of performance they'll do. But one of the ponies who was actually eager to be taking part of this talent show was in fact Vinyl. But she had no idea what kind of performance she would do. After all, she used to, since she is the Ponyville's DJ, but she does a lot of DJing around for friends and families, and even from concerts and other performances around the Equestria. So this time it would have been much different. She wanted some extra special spectacular for her performance. But even though when she asked some of her friends if they had maybe some ideas what she could do to make her her performance a little bit better. But they usually said the same answer. Just be yourself. Maybe add some new type of music, maybe a little bit faster DJing. And of course, she thought about the idea, but she still wanted something special. She wanted to have something that could be remembered for a long time and perhaps even talked about afterwards. Even though that she knows she still maybe not have a chance to win this talent show because that Mayor have thought about if they could have some sort of a prize for the first prize winner could win a small trophy as the performance. But since Vinyl know that even the tons of ponies will be in town to perform at this talent show, her chance to win are almost like 1 to 10 in chances. But she didn't even care if she won or lose at this performance at all. All she cared about is to help. She would actually want to spend the time to perform as a talent show to raise enough money to help the hospital. She loved the children to have some better place at the hospital. But as she asked around for any advice what kind of to spice up her performance a bit better, but most of the others seemed to answer, including her roommate Octavia. But when she went to see Fluttershy, another close friend of hers, if she had an idea. But she probably said the same answer. Just be yourself. Try some use on something you maybe try something different but a different type of music. But even though when Fluttershy did see somehow the disappointment in Vinyl's face, but then she said, if you want some pony to have a very special but something unique or something different this time, maybe you can ask my friend. He might be able to help you that. And Vinyl asked which friend she's talking about. And it turned out she was talking to about Discord. Ever since Discord himself was a good friend, Vinyl. They usually play sometimes and sometimes from time. But Vinyl thought about this, and she actually agreed. She asked Fluttershy if she could have reached out to Discord and came to her home later that same day, if it was possible. And of course, Fluttershy agreed. Vinyl went home, and she was waiting for that Discord should appear. And within an hour, just after she came home, the door knocked. Some pony knocked on the door, and Octavia opened the door and saw Discord. She was aware. She was aware that Discord was going to appear at their home. So she let him inside, and they start talking about Vinyl's performance. Of course, he wanted to help her. They talked about different performance, different ideas for a performance. There were a lot of different ideas, but since most of them were had something that Vinyl had already done in the past, she told them she wanted to do something more special and something more different this time. And of course, Discord scratched his goatee, and actually thought about what if they could add perhaps fireworks to her performance. Even though Vinyl did say she had always had sometimes fireworks or some sort of in her performance, and ponies were probably expecting that to happen. Then Discord thought, what if they could add something different into fireworks, but not ordinary fireworks? And then she had her eyebrow raised and she asked, unusual in what way, Discord? Discord was silent for a brief second. When he answered, well, what about if we could do something different this time? Maybe we could, I don't know, make the fireworks maybe able to sing as you're performing at the same time. That made her really listen surprised idea. Having her performing in the background, but having the fireworks singing at the same time was fired. Like when there's popping, they have this sound of singing. She actually did like the idea, but since the fireworks never want to be last particularly long though, but he said these fireworks would have like two tubes and they would continuously to bring fireworks without any second of break. That means constant of fireworks would appear with singing a side effect, a special effect, without any stops at all. That made her eyes more pop more for this particular idea. And she agreed. But they needed to practice this because just in case if something would be changed in their particular items. So she agreed. They both decided to go wait to the outside next to the meadow outside town but the next day to do more practice. And they agreed. But the next day, outside of on the meadow outside town, Vinyl and Discord was talking about exactly what kind of songs these fireworks were performed. But then she asked him, have you ever done anything like this before? Discord shook his head and said, no, this would actually be my very first try, or at least something like that. And she was a bit surprised and a bit skeptical about that idea though. After all, since this could be would be the first time Discord ever do anything like this. Because she was not even aware if something would go wrong. She didn't want to add anything, some sort of casualties, or if the fireworks somehow backfired and made some damages. She had only one request though, so make sure that the fireworks would not set anything on fire, like paper, wood, anything. And of course, Discord agreed. So he snapped his fingers, a small DJ booth appeared, and she started to perform to match her skills on the DJ, different musics, and another one when she had just started, the fireworks appeared, and the songs from these fireworks actually something that completely matched with the music styles she had on the DJ booth. After they practiced for nearly 3 hours of this, just to perfect it, and of course, she loved every single moment. And of course, she ever had never expecting this to happen, especially with having fireworks with like singing in the background while she was performing. She thought even this could have her have a chance to win this talent show, but in her mind, she didn't even care. She even told Discord about this, and he said, "As long you're having fun, that's all that matters," said Discord with a big smile. After they practiced, Elisa, she practiced for another 2 more hours just to be perfecting this idea. And after that, she was proud and she had now no worries about this go wrong. Because Discord said he would be there in the audience to see and just make sure nothing happens. And so for the next couple of days before this concert to be taking place, Vinyls actually didn't mention anything about her performance when Tony's around asked her what kind of performance would she do this time. But she said, "I cannot tell. If you want to see or want to know, you have to wait to the concert or at least the talent show. Otherwise, I won't tell anything to any pony." Even some of her friends actually was curious to know exactly what kind of performance. Some of her friends actually started fooling around to maybe somehow try to figure out, maybe get a sneak peek, or maybe seeing her in practice. But they actually saw her mostly at home when she was just playing her DJ booth, but nothing else that they thought about to be as any particular special. So the idea they gave up and was just had to wait for the concert or the talent show. But despite this, she wasn't even nervous anymore about this. Just she was actually confident enough that this performance of her own will be very unique and well remembered and perhaps even well spoken about for months afterwards. She just hoped that this performance perhaps will have maybe a better views on herself and that Ponyville may be able to help to raise the money for the hospital. And of course, she actually knew how many ponies were taking part of this new of the talent show and which ones were taking place. She actually looked around, even visited on each different her constant some other performance, like to see what kind of performance they would do. There were some singing talents, some other were doing some step dancing or other talent singing, or maybe a magical show. But of course, there weren't any much others of any talents what she thought maybe she had against them. But in her mind, this was actually something she didn't do just to raise the money to her hospital. She only, for except from that, she only been doing it to have fun. She actually loved to have this kind of performance to others. She had done other charity works in the past, and she loved to help others no matter what happens. But despite after all of this, as the talent show was getting closer and closer, she was now getting a little bit nervous, but Octavia assured her, "You don't have to worry about this, Vinyl. It will be great. We all know that you're a great other DJ." Even though when Vinyl smiled to that and said, "Yeah, I know, but Still, Vinyl, listen. If anything would go wrong, it happens. Even I made some mistakes in the past, you know that. Even in live performance of a big audience. And it's true. Octavia had made some performance when she played a wrong tone while playing. Even the boring opponents in the audience who put that in the mind that she may discover or is heard she played in a wrong tone. So after realizing that her mistake, she always makes sure that it even occurred or even happened. So even though Vine herself had made some random things happen in the past, but she would just want to make sure that then her performance at the talent show will be great. And when the talent show just around the corner, Vinyl made some final training on at home just in case to see if she had lost her touch in this new performance. Even Discord had showed up at her place, just asking how this performance, if she was nervous enough about this. Even though she didn't mention just tiny bit nervous, but he told her, "You don't have to be worried about this. You know all this will be great." So he smiled, and had a laughter. "Do you know, if I was you, I probably had felt the same way. But, you know, things will be great. You know that." And of course, Vinyl smiled and said she understood that. And then the town show arrived. During the whole day, ponies was practicing to his on the last moment of training during this before they had to stall to stand on the stage. Vinyl was going to be one of the last ponies to be performing, so she still had enough time to even change her mind to even perform. But she would have disappointed a lot of friends has been excited to see the new type of performance she'd been doing. As she was standing in the backstage, still waiting, hoping what ponies would react. And even from the two last ponies before her, they decided to have a small break so that every pony before after her turn should have some at least time to relax and something to eat or drink just before their time. Even there was only one pony left before Vinyl. Now she was even more excited. Both excited, but completely nervous. Discord could somehow sense that in the audience. He went backstage and told Vinyl just the same words he told her a couple of times before. "Vinyl, don't freak out. Just be yourself. You know that. You know always. You can always be ready. Even if that you're making some bad mistakes or bad performance, Policy Town knows you're an excellent DJ. You're well known to be one of the most top DJs in the kingdom. You know that, don't you?" And Vinyl nodded and said, "Yeah, you're right, Discord. Are you ready? Yeah. Are you ready? Yeah. That's girl. Now, go on stage and show them the new Vinyl's performance." And Discord laughed and went back to the audience. The audience, Discord sat next to Fluttershy and she noticed that he had left and came back and she asked him, "Discord, is something wrong?" No, actually, no. I just had the last talk with Vinyl to make sure that she isn't too scared about the performance. "Discord, did you do something?" "No, no, 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 no. Only a talk. That's all," he said. "Alright, I'll take your word from it." And then Vinyl appeared as she then said, "Greetings, ponies from Ponyville. I am Vinyl Scratch and also known as DJ Pony Free. And now I'm going to give you all a unique experience, a new type of performance that I had a help from my friend Discord. And every pony looked at Discord and he just smiles and nah, it's all hers. I just give her some points, they give some talk and some ideas. And then Vinyl started as just as she just about to start, nothing happened. She tried again, but nothing. Ponies started looking at each other if something was wrong. But then Vinyl stepped beneath the DJ booth and discovered the station of the base of the sound hadn't even been plugged in. So she plugged it in and then she started and the performance started perfectly. As she just started, fireworks appeared, and police gasped. Not all the fireworks continuously fired, but the fireworks was singing in the background. And as she was playing on her DJ board booth, they actually noticed the music matched the type of music on the booth that she was using. Ponies was laughing, not laughing over bad as against her. They laughed and cheered of all amazed of this. They never had expected this kind of a performance. Even ponies who has been in the audience and others who had been before Vinyl's performance, they actually all stayed and looked at his performance. They were amazed. And after that she was finished, all the audience was silent. And she used to look nervously how to see if they loved it or hated it. But as there's only another 2 more seconds, the entire audience cheered, applauding for her performance. They all screamed, "Bravo! Vinyl! You made a great deal! Great beat this time!" And other opponents said, "Great performance! That was unexpected!" And some ponies said, "Singing fireworks? That is amazing!" And one of the ponies did say, "Singing fireworks? That is an amazing idea. And Discord, he is a great friend." And Vinyl smiled and had some tears in eyes and believed that pony was right. This wouldn't have been for Discord's idea. If she didn't have those fireworks appearing with the singing in the background, it would have been just a simple DJ performance I play normally. But adding those fireworks with singing made the performance a bit extra and also very unique. Even though the opponents in the audience did realize and was aware that she used sometimes using fireworks. But even this was different. Even afterwards, after the performance, Mayor Mayor announced the winner. And it was in fact a step dancer singer who won. But they even then had a second prize for this on big surprising, and in fact it goes to final for her performance. And Mayor Mayor had a second announcement. Thanks to Vinyl's unique performance, the Ponyville Hospital has enough money to build this new department for the children and some extra over to have to buy new equipment and new toys and things for children. Ponies in town cheered once again Vinyl and the others' performance as a great deal. Just after the town show was over, Vinyl walked up to Fluttershy in Discord and she said, "Discord, this is a great help to me. If it wasn't for you, this performance would have been like an other DJ performance." But Discord said, "Nah, it wasn't much. I just tried to do help as my friend does." But Fluttershy said, "Discord, don't be a such goofy man. I know that, Sunshine. I'm just really glad that my performance was actually something I could be helping with you, Vinyl. And you will know your performance will be well talked for months afterwards. And Vinyl and Discord was right. Not only Polnis talked about this performance of Vinyl only days after, but also months afterwards. But not only there was talked about in Polnis, this type of performance was talked about in Canterlot, Trottingham, Manhattan, and even Baltimore, and even beyond that. An entire kingdom talked about this performance. Even though Vinyl has stated this was only one time performance with the singing fireworks, but she was glad to be able to bring that type of performance at a talent show to make a good deal and a good deed to help the local hospital to build new park department for children. And even for Vinyl, she was glad, very excited, very happy that Discord had helped her to this performance. If it wasn't for Discord, the hospital may not have get enough money to be building a new department. But it later turned out majority of the donates actually donated to the fact of Vinyl's performance. And she was grateful to having him the opportunity and a chance to do new and unique performance. Even some ponies had actually asked her if she will be able to do the same type of performance again and again in different locations. But she said, no, this is just one time performance of for a good for a good thing, for a good cause. And for Vinyl, she told Discord he as a true friend that she is very happy to have such a true friend to help her. Discord just smiled and said, I'm very happy to be able to help you, my true friend Vinyl. And this is how Vinyl Scratch and Discord became true friends. The end.